What is up, guys? Eric here from Real Film Reviews, bringing you another movie review for the new Matthew Vaughn film, Kingsman: The Golden Circle. Kingsman: The Golden Circle is directed by Matthew Vaughn and is the sequel to the original Kingsman: The Secret Service, also directed by Vaughn. It has returning stars Mark Strong, Taron Egerton, Colin Firth, along with new talent like Jeff Bridges, Channing Tatum, Pedro Pascal, Halle Berry, Julianne Moore, a really big cast. Now, as with the first one, this movie sort of carries on that lineage of sort of being like a James Bond spy film turned up to 11, so it's really off the wall, really crazy, super wild, and really embraces that rated R rating that it takes. This one covers the story of a massive drug cartel that exists that actually holds a monopoly on all the illegal drugs in the world. And after they decide to poison anyone that uses those drugs, they basically hold the world hostage, and it's up to the Kingsman, whose entire infrastructure has been destroyed by this cartel, to meet up with the statesmen, their American cousins, to find where this cartel exists and take it down. Now, this film starts off with a bang. It has a great action sequence literally right at the beginning of it. Dope chases, awesome hand-to-hand combat, everything is directed really well, and I think that beginning really helped this film move forward in such a positive light, because this movie has really great pacing, and that's one of the big things about it that I liked, is that it never really felt slow at any time. It was always sort of moving the story forward. You were learning about new characters, going to new places, new things were happening, and the story was continuing to progress. And then also past the first action sequence, all of the other sequences in this movie are great. Matthew Vaughn's direction is one of the strongest aspects of this film because he doesn't necessarily do long takes. They're clearly edited takes to make them seem longer than they actually were when they filmed it, but they're still so well done and they all look so good. The way he films the action is so interesting compared to lots of other ways that directors have been filming it recently with slowing it down. Instead, he almost does like a speed up, but then puts it back down to normal pace, but it looks like it's slowed down since you were used to seeing it sped up. And it's really interesting, and I think that he handled the direction of this movie beautifully. All of the cast does a great job. Mark Strong was great. I love Taron Egerton. I think he continues to prove that he's an extremely underutilized young talent, because this kid has not been getting cast in a lot of stuff, and I don't understand why. He's so talented, and I feel like in these movies he's also shown that he could definitely be like a big-time action star if people just gave him the chance. He was second place to replace young Han Solo in the new film, and he lost to Alden Ehrenreich, and I was genuinely so upset when he lost because I thought he would have been perfect for that role. Colin Firth was a lot of fun, as always. Jeff Bridges was great as the head of the Statesman. Pedro Pascal, who played the Red Viper in Game of Thrones, he was awesome. I really loved his character. Channing Tatum did a good job. Honestly, the whole cast did a good job in this film. And then the story, just like I feel with the first one, was just bonkers enough, but also just believable enough that you could get into it. You didn't watch it thinking, this is so stupid. While it was so crazy, you still were totally invested in it because for some reason it felt so real, and it felt like there was such a need to push forward and to stop whatever was going to happen, and it didn't feel just so off the wall that you're just like, this is dumb, that could never happen. Even though the story is far-fetched, it's not so far-fetched that you totally lose any idea of having interest in it. The movie's really funny, just like the first, and it also has a lot of really great callbacks to the original one, which I liked, because I think there are a lot of sequels that sort of pass over the fact that it's a sequel, and they don't put a lot of time into having people remember stuff from the first film, and this movie didn't do that. It had those callbacks to the original. Some of them were in the form of jokes, some of them were in the form of jabs, and I really enjoyed that throughout the film. And then also, like I said, with the plot of this, with Kingsman sort of being destroyed, the Statesmen were a really cool addition. They were really funny. The fact that they own like a whiskey business is really entertaining, and it's so American that I thought that that was so great. And then also just their interactions with the Kingsmen and how different the two organizations run themselves was just really fun to see that dichotomy between the two. And then the set pieces in the final action sequence, the big climactic one in this film, are amazing. It's one of the best action sequences so far this year. I really loved it, and I think that that sequence alone just elevates this movie to a whole nother level when it comes to the action aspect. Now, in terms of what I thought was wrong with this film, I think the biggest and most obvious one for most people that go see this is the cast. While they all give good performances, I feel like it's becoming a trend in Hollywood now to just cram as many famous people as you can into a movie and pay them large sums of money even though they have extremely small roles. I'm not going to say anything about any characters in this movie in terms of their size of roles, but I was just pretty disappointed that some of the characters in the movie that have been flaunted as being like lead cast members in this film are not really in the movie that much, and if they are, they might not really be doing very much. I thought it was disappointing, and I really hope this trend kind of stops, because I would rather see new up-and-coming actors get those roles, even if the role's a little bit smaller, rather than just giving it to a big name when you already have other big names in lead roles and you don't need those other big names. And then along with that, there was one semi-big plot hole in the movie that I noticed that just sort of never got explained. It just happens and then the story moves on, and they never take the time to give us the exposition as to how that all took place. I'm obviously not going to spoil anything about it, but if you see the movie, maybe leave a comment down below if you could figure it out. But me and my friends that went and saw were just kind of like, what's the deal? Why was that not explained to us as the audience? I'm gonna give Kingsman: The Golden Circle a B+. It was really great to go to the theater and actually see a very fun blockbuster type film. This is kind of going to be one of the last ones that we get this year in terms of this type of thing, of a big blockbuster, and I think that it was a great way to end sort of that for the year as we move into fall and sort of Oscar award season type films. It was a lot of fun. If you enjoy action comedy films, definitely go check this out, and if you saw the first one and enjoyed it, obviously go check this one out, because it is in the exact same vein and it is just as entertaining. Well guys, as always, I'm Eric. If you enjoyed this review, please do like, subscribe, comment down below what you thought of Kingsman: The Golden Circle, share everything we do here on Real Film Reviews, and I hope to see you guys later.